The East Brunswick Public Library recently held a 3D printing program to explore the possibility and future of the emerging technologies.
Today we had a basic discussion on 3D printing and the future of how printing is going to change and revolutionize the notion of how we manufacture and make things. It's going to move from sort of the post-industrial era of buying things at the store to now you are now designing, making, and fabricating your own thing right in your home.
3D printing is basically known as an additive manufacturing process, and you're taking an idea in the computer, and this microphone, for instance, if this was in the computer screen, the machine will start slicing it from the bottom up and creating different slices, like cutting a deli meat at the deli, and it's stacking them all back together and duplicating that out of plastic or metal or ceramic, whatever medium you're choosing for your 3D print. And it's just starting at the bottom, working one layer at a time, binding these different layers together, and in the end, you have your finished item.
At the moment, most of 3D printing is happening on an academic level, where it's testing things and testing the notions or applications of how things can be done or applied. And in the practicing world, we're seeing it applied to how jewelry is made. We're seeing it in automotive parts. We're seeing it in industrial design, and we're beginning to see it affect even architecture a little bit. So it's infiltrating all the various different professions, and the form or the way that the 3D printer works is also beginning to influence how things are put together or made.
I think the things that they're doing in medical, organ creation, and they're actually exploring 3D printing organs, functional organs, that's miraculous. And circuitry is another big one that we're going to be seeing in the next few years, being able to 3D print electrical circuit boards. That process right now is pretty dangerous, volatile, the chemicals you need to use if you want to make your own circuit board. So this is going to open up a whole new market to people who are into electrical circuitry.
But most importantly, it's the idea of everybody has their own computer, the digital world attached to where technologies that have existed for quite some time are changing and revolutionizing everything. So the passion comes from being kind of beat over the head with it and either adapt or you're out.
Well, I was studying architecture at Brookdale Community College, and was introduced through the CAD program to the technology. And between drafting and just wanting to create my own ideas and having access to a 3D printer at Brookdale, it allowed me to start exploring the possibilities that this technology lends to us.
So the technology is coming down so fast in terms of affordability that I would say to people, again, if you're practicing with software and you're understanding what's possible, you can go to YouTube as a forum to learn how to do various different things through their tutorials that people just post for free. So it's a matter of years, things are going to be even cheaper and the technology is going to advance even further. So it's just kind of showing an interest in paying attention. Where, in a sense, it's been around for a while, and in a sense, we're at the ground floor.
Yeah, first, there's plenty of free software you can go download. It's free from the company. It's not like you have to worry about doing anything wrong. SketchUp, Blender is another one, and you could download and have basically all the basic tools you need to make most objects you probably would imagine. Some of the more complex geometries require some more advanced software, but SketchUp could handle the gamut of most things.
SketchUp was the one that we were introducing earlier. Anyone can download SketchUp for free. The free version is exactly the same as the pay version. The pay version, I think, is like $500. The only difference between them are how you can attach plugins, which are outside softwares that are now attached to it. But in terms of making things, you can make anything.
I do a lot of jewelry, and I also do a lot of mechanical items. I use a lot of what they call SLS, which is basically selective laser sintered nylon plastic. It's basically a bed of powder, and a laser will bind it all together. It depends really what the client wants and what the part needs to do in the end. So for mechanical parts, I might choose a stainless steel if it needs to be stronger. Again, that uses a similar process of selective laser sintering. But it depends. Some of the jewelry, I'll go with silvers. You could do golds, platinums are even possible. It really depends on the necessity of the project and what the piece is required to do. Well, I deal with a whole array of clients. Sometimes they just have an idea and it's not even on paper yet. Sometimes someone might have a simple sketch. Sometimes they might have drafted in dimension drawings that are very elaborate, and it's just it varies. The difficulty may vary, and the time you put into development may vary, but you could always take an idea and get it into a 3D model one way or another.
The technology is changing so fast, though. Basically, 10 years ago, to buy a 3D printer was going to be outrageous money.
I can't afford $200,000 piece of equipment either, so if I want high resolution, I'll use Shapeways, for instance, as a service company, and they have equipment that has resolution that I would never touch with a desktop printer, so it allows me to make products that are more tactile in terms of what we're used to in plastic injection molding process. You're used to a certain kind of smoothness, a certain resolution or finish. Their equipment allows me to achieve that more so than some of the desktop versions.
But if you learn how to model, and then there are companies like Shapeways, which Jeff mentioned earlier, which are online. You can upload once you learn what their format is, you can upload your models to them, and they will make it for you.
3D modeling can require some patience sometimes, and it's a little bit of a learning curve. But after you get familiar and comfortable with some of the basic tools, you'd be really amazed on how quick you'll start developing ideas, and the complexity will just keep getting greater and greater as you just get some practice in.
The important thing, I think, about any and all of this is to have an open mind, and to have a critical mind. If somebody was asking, well, does this make your life better? Well, it's happening regardless, so you have to find the positives and the negatives. It's important to know both and how they begin to sort of affect and sort of build the world that you are familiar with into the world that you are going to move into. It's going to happen regardless. And 3D printing may morph into something else. There may be something that comes out or something that's available that we haven't seen yet, and technology is going to continue to evolve that, and affordability is going to continue to put it in the hands of everyone.